Latest technology, the CD-ROM computer. This is a multimedia system.
Well, thanks for joining us today. Today, I get the pleasure of sitting with David Phillips, who is the Chief Media and Activation Officer at Environics Analytics. What a way to start the year with an announcement from Environics and LiveRamp managing to create some movement in the Canadian marketplace for early in 2025. So I thought it would be a great idea to catch up with you and talk just generally about what this means for the industry. I know that there has been a lot of discussion in 2024 from advertisers who have been working really diligently to pull together their first-party data, but then also asking themselves a lot of questions around how prepared are the publishers to actually do something with this data. I'm excited to hear about the announcement. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about what this means and share a little bit of insight on what advertisers can look forward to in the Canadian space.
Yeah, for sure. And thank you again for having me. So I think it is very exciting. And just to recap for those who may not have seen it, essentially what we announced yesterday was Postmedia, Toolstar, and Metroland joining, signing up to what we call ATS, which is the ability to add in authenticated IDs to authenticated traffic. So that's Ramp ID, which comes from LiveRamp, but also they can add in UID2 from Trade Desk. All three, I believe, are enabled for Google Pair as well, if an advertiser wants that. So it's really to your point, the growth of authenticated traffic, allowing brands to find real people on the sell side. So what we've seen since we launched our partnership with LiveRamp earlier in 2024 is a gratifyingly, but possibly surprising amount of interest from the brands to really make sure that they can activate in a cookieless environment. And to your point earlier, what we're now seeing in growing numbers is publishers on the other side signing up. So it was, to your point, a great way to start the year.
Yeah, I think it's big news. And to be clear, there are opportunities for publishers to do something, right? Because a lot of them are trying to figure out some solutions on their own. But it's really great to hear that they're starting to embrace great partnerships that are helping to enable them and helping them to access maybe some untapped opportunities on their inventory.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
yeah. And I wonder, what is the opportunity for even smaller publishers? I know that there was these in particular, you have quite a few big names there, Postmedia and Metroland, really. So what is the opportunity for some of the smaller publishers that are looking to also do something like this? Is that viable, or do you have to
Yeah.
have a certain amount of inventory or a certain amount of play in the industry to get access to this kind of thing?
No, it's really open and easy for pretty much every size of publishers. So we have already companies who are using ATS, lots of smaller companies in Canada and obviously worldwide. And I think that there's a couple of reasons for that. Three, I guess. One is that technically it's fairly easy to implement. So what we call ATS, which stands for Authenticated Traffic Solution, can be as simple as a piece of JavaScript code. It can be an API call, but essentially we know of companies who've, agreed to sign up in the morning and then were beginning to deliver authenticated traffic by the afternoon. So it's technically quite easy. So and it comes in pre-bid and it comes in different ways of being able to enable it. So it can be technically quite easy, which is obviously helpful for smaller publishers who may not have the resources. I think the other thing is, and I think this is an important note, it's free. There's no charge for any of these things, which probably helps everyone, including the larger publishers. And then lastly, the reason why I think it's picking up, one of the reasons it's picking up is because there's lots of evidence that it does create additional revenues from stuff we've seen in the States in particular. The CPMs tend to go up, and it's very reasonable. Why? Because it goes from a brand having access to inventory where it's possibly not clear who it is to, okay, I want this person, you've got this person. So obviously a brand is going to want to pay more to that. So if you put those three things together, it's technically easy, it's free, and it generates more money. It's quite a compelling, we think it's quite a compelling proposition. The other thing, just to be clear, again, it's not just Ramp IDs. When you implement what we call ATS, it's Ramp ID, but also UID2, can be Yahoo Connect, can be, and again, Google Pair. So I think you're getting all of that in one fairly straightforward package, which is why one of the reasons we're seeing pickup. And to mention pickup, since we started we've seen a growth of about 40% of round players in the market. So we're over 35 million now, which is good and growing. This is before these guys. So hopefully we'll see more soon.
That's fantastic.
Mhm.
That's really great. So then the roadmap for Canada in 2025, I'm assuming is fairly assertive then. So
Yeah.
there's going to be a lot of, with more stories like this out there, hopefully more publishers will start to participate, and we can create an exciting new market opportunity for Canadians, but also for people investing in the Canadian media landscape.
Yeah, for sure. And I think what's really I was trying to write a piece yesterday about what 2025 looks like, which I'm sure you get asked to do multiple times a day. And I don't mean this necessarily in a negative way, but I think a key word that came to my mind is unstable. We're not quite sure. There's going to be elections. There's a new administration in the US. The macroeconomic conditions in H1 possibly aren't going to be where we'd want them to be, although H2 looks good. And so I think in that, and then we know there's things like what Chrome's going to do with consumer opt out of cookies. I think faced with that environment, I think a sensible thing to do is to create really balanced strategy. And so part of that is let's not put all my eggs in one basket. So if I can grow authenticated traffic by using something like ATS that these publishers are, then let's do that. It's not the be all and end all. It's not the only way to survive and thrive in this market. But I think when you have something, an environment that we're faced with, I think the more you can hedge your bets and begin to test and learn about different alternatives, I think the better. Certainly on the brand side, we're seeing a lot of uptake of the live ramp services. And I think therefore it creates a great opportunity for the open web in particular to take advantage of that demand in a way that is relatively risk-free.
Yeah, I think that there's a big theme emerging for 2025, and something that I certainly took out of CES. One of the underlying themes was the idea that 2023 was the year of wow, 2024 was the year of how, and 2025 is the year of now. And people taking action and removing some of the inertia
Yes,
and
going to
just
steal
getting
that.
active. Oh, please do.
Yeah.
I did. So hopefully the industry will as well. There is a lot of opportunities that is about to arise out of a proliferation of content that
Yeah.
is going to be created as a result of AI. And all of that will need to be monetized, and we'll need to have some systems in place that allow identity resolution and data collaboration and all that. So I'm very excited to hear what else is going to come out of Environics this year. Thank you so much for spending the time with me
Pleasure.
this morning. And we'll catch up in a couple of months just to see how things are going. Hopefully, the industry will have been in full now adoption for 2025.